back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson, and I'm an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. What today's episode is going to be about is how do you know that you no longer have anxiety? How do you know that you got out of anxiety? And this is a very good question, and a lot of people have this question, and I used to have this question as well. Like, how do I know that I am anxiety-free? Like, I no longer struggle with anxiety? Because a lot of us, whenever we have anxiety, all of a sudden we have those days that we're feeling great, like, oh my God, I finally get out of it. And then it feels like as if we went back to square one, that we have not even made any progress. And this can make us feel really down, and it can make us feel very frustrated, and it can be very annoying to deal with. And the question that we all have is like, okay, how do I know that I am anxiety free? And this is something that I used to ask, like, how am I going to know that I'm finally overcame my anxiety? So I'll explain to you my own experience of how I knew that I was finally anxiety free. And even today that I still speak about anxiety all day, I don't experience anxiety. But how do we know that I'm anxiety free? How did I know that? As you guys know, the ones that follow me and have heard my story, that it took me 3 years to overcome my anxiety. And out of those 3 years, I had about 8 months that was very severe anxiety, and then another 2.5 years where I had a lot of ups and downs. And a lot of those times when I had those ups and downs, I had those moments like you guys have, like, oh my God, I'm feeling much better. I'm finally out of this. I'm not even thinking about anxiety. And then all of a sudden, boom, I'm getting anxiety again. Like, what's going on? So what I've come to realize after the 3 years is that I stopped thinking about anxiety completely. And what I mean by that is that whenever, let's say, you're thinking about going somewhere or something that triggers your anxiety, you go there without actually fearing it anymore. Let's say, for example, you're afraid of leaving your house. And whenever you're having anxiety, you're thinking about it like, oh my God, I'm going to have to leave my house again. I'm going to have anxiety. But whenever you're finally over it, you're not thinking about it anymore. You're just walking out of your house. You are just doing things like you once did. That's how you know that, hey, I overcame my anxiety. Like, wow, I no longer have anxiety. Now, I know you have some days like that where you're not even thinking about anxiety, and then all of a sudden, you are experiencing that. So whenever that does happen, just know that you are in between of like getting better and improving yourself, and you're going to have those moments where you're going to feel down. You're going to feel anxious. But those are opportunities for you, again, to improve yourself every single time. Now, you have to understand that whenever you have those down moments, not to be afraid of those down moments, not to be afraid anymore of your anxiety. That's another thing that you are knowing that, hey, I'm doing much better, that you no longer fear your anxiety. Like, for example, whenever I have anxiety, which, again, it's normal to have anxiety. I have it from here and there, just from stresses in life, things that I have to do. I get a little anxious sometimes, but I'm able to handle it. I'm not even afraid of it. I'm not even afraid of the anxiety. So you see that whenever you get to this point where you're no longer thinking about anxiety, that you're no longer afraid of anxiety, that's how you already know, like, hey, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm not scared of my anxiety anymore. I'm not even thinking about my anxiety. I'm just going out of my house and doing my things, and I'm not thinking in the back of my head like, oh my God, am I going to have an anxiety attack? Is it going to come back? I'm afraid that it's going to come back. I'm expecting it to come back. No, it's just like, hey, it's gone. It's finished. Like today, like me, I speak about anxiety all day. I deal with people on my one-on-one sessions. I deal with them with their anxiety, and I speak about it, but it doesn't affect me. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. You understand? So that's how I know, like, hey, I'm good. Like, I'm not gonna get anxiety again. Now, of course, there's things that we need to do. There's things of like dealing with the subconscious mind. That's what I did, because a lot of our anxiety is coming from our subconscious mind. So whenever we were kids and we were growing up, we were programmed in a certain way, and that thing affected our mind. That thing affected who we became today. So if we were growing up in an anxious environment or that we were fed a lot of fear, our subconscious mind is just going to be fear-based, and we need to fix that. We need to change that so our subconscious mind is no longer anxious so that we don't feel anxious anymore. You understand? So that's going to help you tremendously. And that's something that you need to deal with. And that's what I do with my one-on-one sessions. I deal with the subconscious mind at the same time with the conscious mind. It goes hand in hand. So that way we're able to get to the point where we no longer experience anxiety. So whenever, let's say, we're healing the subconscious mind at the same time, we're dealing with the conscious mind by thinking more positively, by working on your self-confidence, working on your self-esteem. Those kind of things. That's what I do with people, and that's what helped me. That's what helped me, and that's what gave me a more solid foundation. And I know I hear these people, I've heard from other people, that anxiety coaches and even therapists, that they say you can never overcome anxiety. You can never get out of it. I don't believe that. I don't believe that whatsoever. That is false. I'm living proof of that. Now, of course, there's normal anxiety and there's an anxiety disorder. I believe you 100% can overcome an anxiety disorder and even overcome regular anxiety if you have the right mindset. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. But to say that you can never get out of this, it's just going to make you feel hopeless. Like if I went through an anxiety disorder right now and someone told me that, it would devastate me. If I never went through it before in my life, it would kill me. It would devastate me because I'm like, hey, I'm going to be stuck like this for the rest of my life. No, you're not going to be stuck like this for the rest of your life. You are going to fluctuate on your way to recovery. But the thing is knowing how to recover the right way so that way you have a more solid foundation in your healing process and that you know like, hey, I'm healing myself once and for all. So if you're able to do that, then you have long-lasting relief. Like I have long-lasting relief. I'm not trying to bloat over here, or I'm not trying to be with ego. I just want to give you guys inspiration to show like, hey, it's possible, because I know that you guys don't feel that way sometimes. And I know that sometimes you may see things like that or hear things like that you can never overcome it. And it's not me personally that I've heard this. Also, it's other people that have told me this. Like, oh, my therapist told me like I'm never going to be able to overcome this or get out of this situation. It's a lifelong thing. That's not true. That's absolutely false. You are going to be able to overcome this thing. It's not going to be easy. And they may say that. They may say that because of their data, but their data is based on what exactly? And what are people doing exactly? Is it they're doing therapy? Are they taking medication for it? Maybe what they're doing isn't correct. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the reason why they gave that kind of answer. Maybe because that's what their data is giving them. But that data can be false. I'm living proof over here and other people that I've helped with that it's possible to overcome. And then you'll get to the point where you're not even thinking about anxiety. You're not even worried about anxiety. You're just going to say, hi, anxiety, and have a nice day. That's what I do. So whenever I'm feeling overwhelmed or it's too much for me, let's say the wintertime is very, very hard for me. Emotionally, it drains me because I like being outdoors. I love nature. And in New York, the wintertime, there is no nature. It gets very cold. Sometimes it snows, which in the beginning is really beautiful. Afterwards, it's like, listen, after a day, let's go away. But it's very difficult for me in the wintertime dealing with the cold, because I can't do certain things that I usually do in order for me to feel much better. Like we need to have certain outlets that's going to help us to feel much calmer. That's going to make us to feel much better with ourselves and about life in general. So sometimes when I don't have that, it makes me feel down. And whenever we feel down, we can't operate the best way. So think about whenever someone tells you these kind of things, like, hey, you're going to be stuck like this for the rest of your life. That's not giving them any hope whatsoever. That's destroying the one thing that they're looking for is to get out of it. You know, so we want to instill like, hey, it's possible for me to overcome this. I may have struggled this for years, but it may be because I haven't dealt with it in the right way. Maybe I need to change certain things in order for me to get out of this situation. So guys, at the end of the day, it's definitely possible for you to overcome this. And the way you know that you finally became anxiety free, and I'm speaking from my own experience, not only from mine, for the people that I've helped with, is that you're going to see that you're no longer going to be thinking about anxiety, not going to be fearing about anxiety, and you're going to feel much better throughout the day. This is how you know you overcame your anxiety disorder and that your sympathetic nervous system has healed itself. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people. And the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.